Yes. Welcome back. This is God's on Goal, and we are back with another talk on the EPL action that has happened. And just to be frank, it has been a successful hit watch for all parties involved, especially if you are a guy who hates Spurs, or you despise Man United, or you just like seeing teams like Chelsea suffering. So yes, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And good, it has been a fantastic evening for hate watchers, including myself. As you can see, I'm rocking my Newcastle jersey, and I am satisfied that they beat Spurs at home, um, uh, 2-1, with a goal from Malik Tiao and this other guy, Gordon Ramsey. Yes, Gordon assisted him. So yes, and they scored a set piece. It has been a beautiful hit watch to see that. As it stands, as much as they've gone through the Champions League phase, it doesn't seem like Thomas Frank will survive this season or the next season if he does make it there, because he is, dragging himself and his team to a relegation battle, because the teams that are below them, like West Ham, drew with Man United, but that is a separate game that I'm going to talk about. They drew. Leeds drew with Chelsea also, and that means teams that are below them have gained points. The only Nottingham Forest that haven't played, and with Spurs having very very tough fixtures, and they also have to play Arsenal next. I think in the next after two games, there's a lot for them to do, and they need to pull up their socks. But with injuries that are happening in the team, of course they have to be affected. But if there's one thing that I really don't care, if Spurs lose, if Spurs get relegated, I don't really mind. they can go they can go to relegation for all I care. Seeing them suffer is the best. I won't spend time talking about them, but I just wanted to talk about Newcastle winning, and that was a good performance. Should have kept a clean sheet, I guess. There were so many chances that you know Newcastle created from set pieces, but they weren't really clicking. But 3 points is 3 points at this point in the league, because we're heading now to the home stretch where European places are up for grabs. The teams that are fighting for relegation, of course, they want to stay in the league. Um, Teams getting points from each other here. It's because there's no easy game, as you have actually seen. Because who would have thought Chelsea were leading against Leeds 2-0, and this is like the second game in running, or is it the third game? The second game running that Chelsea have dropped a two-goal lead, and Leeds. We played Leeds a few weeks ago, and people said, "Oh, it's just a relegation team. It's not easy to play against them. They will they'll find a way." But if you watched the game, it was so easy to play against them. you know we are known, because we are known as Arsenal, like to play boring football per se. But if that boring football is going to be giving me 3 points each and every week, I'd rather be bored and continue winning, because nobody gets bored of winning at the end of the day. So yes, and 3 points is 3 points at this. It doesn't matter how you get it, whether it's through a set piece or whether it's through a penalty or something. And yes, and the highlight of that game, because at the end, right at the end, Chelsea could have won it. And Cole Palmer, I don't know how he missed that. He missed an open goal, he missed an open chance. It was a simple tap in with a very good ball from Caicedo. He could have won it, he could have gotten all the 3 points for Chelsea, but he missed, he skied it, and he was left shocked. And the worst bit about it is that a player like Palmer is missing such chances. And Chelsea are fighting for a top four spot. They don't want to risk with the top five, but the top four spot is good for them, and they are still in the FA Cup. I bet they are also still in the Champions League. We eliminated them in the Carabao Cup, so they aren't really looking forward to any more matches. So yes, this is an opportunity loss for Chelsea to actually gain ground to third place, which is Aston Villa. They are having quite some bad form, but they'll find a way to catch up in a way. That was a good watch. I love seeing Chelsea suffer. They can continue suffering with their £2 billion squad. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. So yes, Chelsea drew, and that was it. And the other match was Everton versus Bournemouth. I bet Bournemouth won 2-1. That was I've seen the highlights. Pickford was having a howler. So yeah. And now to the main game that majority of us were watching because not necessarily for sporting reasons, or maybe that United are playing a big game or they are expected to perform well. This was the game Man United. It was their fifth game, and they were gunning for a five-game winning run. And same case to West Ham. West Ham, they played three. They played 5 games. They won 3 out of 5. That is a good. They are in good form. Also, United were in good form the past 4 games before this fifth one. And when it started, it looked like United had control, but West Ham played well because they were at home. They knew this is an opportunity to actually get points on the board and reduce the gap to see whether they can survive in the league next season. Fast forward to second half, they get a goal through Suchek, good one. And after that, it was when they were missing chance after chance after chance. Casemiro scored, but it was an offside goal. But there was a chance by Somerville, there was a chance by Wilson when he came on, Adam Traore when he came on, also Suchek at some point, Bowen. They missed chances, not clear cut chances, but they could have made something out of it. And with a one goal lead, it wasn't looking likely. But as the game was heading on, United looked potent. Like if they get more chances in the box, they might score. And in the football world, daggers, we call them daggers, those last minute goals. Even the group chat while I was talking to guys, I said in this game it looked like it would end as 1-0, but I knew with the EPL it's not over until it's over. And in the 90 plus fifth minute, Sesko scored a fantastic goal, very good goal. I was almost celebrating because I'm a Sesko fan, and I know there were not very many people who were celebrating. That's true because a guy like that guy from United Strand, who said that if United win 5 games in a row, that's when he'll shave. It's been almost 400 plus days and still hasn't shaved. And this was the game that everyone was now watching to see if he could actually go and if United could actually go and win the fifth game and he can get the haircut. Well, fortunately for him, the gimmick lives on. This guy's bag was threatened, and he can comfortably say that he serves a living God. I bet, I am pretty sure, I can guarantee you, he did not want United to win because he wanted to start that streak again. The worst part about that streak, even if it goes like 2 games, they draw and they lose or lose, he starts the countdown again. Now that they've drawn, he has to start again. And United are running out of games to play this season because they're only playing in the league, so they're only running out of games. And as the way it's actually looking, it doesn't seem like he's going to be shaving his head this season specifically. Well, if United are in a very very good position to qualify for Europe, be it Europa League or the Champions League. But for them, I bet the Champions League is what they are targeting and what they would, where exactly they would want to be. So yeah, it was a good watch. I watched the game. I enjoyed. Yeah, United games, they aren't as boring as my team, but boring according to the standards that are you know that are out there. But I understand why my coach Arteta plays the way we play because teams are so open. teams are really so open. I'll give you an example: the Liverpool versus Man City game. You know, when Liverpool scored, I can guarantee you, if Arteta actually scored such a goal with his team, there's like 90% surety he would go defensive, not even looking for a second goal, especially in a big game like that. Because if we are going to be playing Man City in the next few weeks, even you saw Man City after they scored against us, they went back and settled and waited to see how the game panned out. Unfortunately for them, we equalized almost in the last minute and they dropped points. Also for West Ham, I think they also, as much as they wasted their chances, they didn't really look like they would add another goal, or maybe, but they looked like they could concede at some point if United got, their passes right, get, those triangles. Like if they brought more balls into the box, and you're having a little striker like Sesko, isn't really lethal, but you know what I'm saying. Having a striker like Sesko in the box and in your team, um, just get him the balls and he might create a chance, especially after he missed a chance in the weekend versus was it Spurs? Yes, versus Spurs. He missed an open chance. So it was good to actually see him score. And yeah, I understand why we play the way we play. Teams in this league are full of mad people. Like players just run 24/7. We have the highest defensive line in the league. Because we normally, pin teams back. And of course, even versus Brentford, I don't expect them to be pinned back because they are very good at set pieces. One thing, the game that we're playing tomorrow, they are very good on transition, especially Igo Thiago and the likes. Their defensive record isn't as good, but they have some decent defenders. On our part, we are struggling to score, especially when Gyökeres is not in the team. We're struggling to score now that even Saka, we don't know whether he'll be back, but I don't think he's back yet. We'll be back maybe in the FA Cup versus Wigan over the weekend. And also we play Wolves next week. We have a double game week, so for fantasy managers, I've triple captained Gyökeres. Doesn't look like the best decision, but yeah, here we are. So yeah, the league is still a lot to play for. Yes, we are still 6 points ahead of Man City, but the only thing we can just continue is winning our matches until we meet them, and maybe increase or maintain the gap that is there. Because from next week, when we play Wolves, we'll now be having a game in hand. Because I don't know why this happens to Man City every time, every season. They always, especially when they are, second or third or first maybe, they always have a game in hand. Always, every single season. At no particular point have I ever not seen Man City having a game in hand, especially when they are chasing. And for us, whether they're chasing or not, we have to go and beat Brentford. We have to go and beat Wolves. Those are two tricky away games. For Wolves, they are fighting for relegation. As much as they look like they're relegated, they're fighting for pride. Their fans wouldn't want to go down with a whimper. So yes, they want to be, respected. When it comes to Brentford, performing very well, they are mid-table currently. As things stand, they might qualify for Europe next season, depending on how they perform on the next few games. So yes, those are two tricky games we have to win. We have to rest some of our key players. We have to go deeper into more competitions because I'm expecting to have fit players on the 22nd at Wembley when we play Man City in the final of the Carabao Cup. I wouldn't want to miss a player like Rice, maybe Subimendi. It's good to actually have, as much as I have my criticism for Odegaard, it's good to have him there. Bukayo Saka, Gyökeres, Jesus, Martinelli, Trossard, especially those forward players and our back line. Yeah, I understand that we might rotate in that final, but who knows? Who really knows? But yeah, it has been another successful hit watch. The teams that have failed to win today, and it actually looks like it's going to be the scene for the next few games in the midweek games. I don't know what how Man City will play versus Fulham, but I've never really seen Fulham do anything versus Man City. They have been losing, and they are at the Etihad. City are, they look energetic now, especially with Guehi, back in the team. He's been there for 3 weeks and he's good. Ruben Diaz is back, their captain. Rodri is good. You know, yeah, Ryan Check is there. Bernardo is getting his assists. Haaland scored a goal and made a goal versus Liverpool. They don't have a harder fixture in the FA Cup. They're playing against Salford. So yeah, the games that are coming up, they look winnable on their end. So the best thing to do is that we should go ahead and beat Brentford. That is that is all we can do. That is all we can say. But yes, that game will be played on Thursday. So this was just a match reaction for the games that were played today. I don't think there's any match tomorrow. Maybe the Man City game, but I won't make a reaction for that. Of course, we're going to talk about it later, depending on how our team will go. So I just wanted to, to add the story on us versus Brentford. Like that match, talk about that match because I won't be able to talk about it again until another match reaction. So yes, this is God's on Goal. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you on Thursday after the Arsenal Brentford game, or unless Fulham win, you will see my face. So yes, you take care, and I'll see you next time.